Why don't we remember that we have been here before, or the choices we made in the heavenly world? Why do we forget them? It depends on your level of spirituality, because some people do remember their past lives. The more permanent records of all that has happened are stored, and they are stored in the world of thought and in the life spirit. So if you have a perfect connection with the world of thought or the life spirit, you can remember all that. Similarly, the pictures of the coming life are in the reflecting ether, because the reflecting ether is connected to the mind, the world of thought. So if you can even read in the reflecting ether, you can see what you are here to do on earth. The records are there. Take note that a new mind is built when we are born. When we are reborn, we come with a new mind, not the same old mind. Of course, we cannot even remember how we started to crawl. The divine plan is that the future or the past should not be revealed to the unprepared person, the person who has not matured spiritually. That is why when we are born, we all go through the water of forgetfulness. And that water of forgetfulness is the amniotic fluid. In Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5, it is said to the prophet by the Lord, "Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou comest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." All of us made a choice in the spiritual world before we took physical embodiment on earth. Our records, our choices are already there. Let us summarize what we have said so far. In the third heaven, the threefold spirit or the dead has only the forces of the four seed atoms of the dense body, the vital body, the desire body, and the sheath of mind. They are the nuclei for the building of new vehicles or bodies. In the third heaven, there comes a time when the spirit desires to come back to rebirth. In coming down, the first thing is that the latent forces in the seed atom of the mind are awakened. A new mind is built. The seed atom can take in each region nothing except the material for which it has an identity, and also nothing beyond a certain quantity of that material. So, the vehicle built around this nucleus becomes an exact counterpart of the corresponding vehicle of the previous embodiment, minus the evil which has been expurgated, plus the extract or quintessence of good which has been incorporated in the seed atom. The spirit cannot take what it did not work for in previous life. So, in the world of thought, the spirit moves downwards from the region of abstract thought through the four subdivisions of the region of concrete thought. Next, the forces in the seed atom of the desire body are awakened. The materials of the seven regions of the desire world are drawn, and the vehicle or the body sinks to the sixth region, getting more material there, and this process continues through the sixth, the fifth, the fourth, the third, the second, until the first region of the desire world is reached. By now, the spirit or the ego has descended through the world of thought and the desire world. Then next is for the spirit to descend to the physical world, starting with the etheric region. The seed atom of the vital body is next activated in the etheric region. Here, the process of formation is not so simple as in the case of the mind and the desire body. The building of the new body and the placement in proper environment is done by four great beings of immeasurable wisdom, called the recording angels or the laws of destiny. But the spirit or the ego who is coming to rebirth incorporates therein the extract, the quintessence of its former vital body, and also does a little original work. Many people conclude that all that exists now is the result of something that previously existed. It is not so. If that were the case, there would be no margin left for new and original effort and for new causes. The chain of cause and effect is not a monotonous repetition. There is an influx of new and original causes all the time. That is the real backbone of evolution. And that backbone we call epigenesis, the free will and the freedom to inaugurate something entirely new. Fixed destiny cannot be changed, unlike others, which the individual has flexibility to change by prayer, fasting, and other means. If the individual tries to use his or her free will to circumvent fixed destiny, the agents of the laws of destiny will make a move so as to enforce fulfillment of that fixed destiny. So, the vital body, having been molded by the laws of destiny, will give form to the dense body, organ for organ, molecule for molecule. So, no dense body can be built until there is a vital body in which to build the materials for the dense body. This matrix or this mold of the vital body is placed in the womb of the future mother. The seed atom for the dense body is in the triangular head of one of the spermatozoa in the semen of the father to make fertilization possible. When the impregnation of the ovum has taken place, the desired body of the mother works upon it for a period between 18 to 21 days. The spirit, the ego, at that time remains outside in its desired body and mind, but in close touch with the mother. By the 21 days, the spirit enters the mother's body. From this time, the spirit or ego broods over its vehicle to birth as a baby, and its new earth life in a new physical body begins. All vehicles or bodies of the newborn do not at once become active. The dense body, for example, is helpless for a very long time after birth. It is the same with the higher bodies. As the dense body is slowly prepared for the separate individual life within the protecting cover of the womb, so the other bodies are gradually born and nurtured into activity. In the period immediately following birth, the different vehicles interpenetrate one another. Only the negative pole qualities of the ethers are active in the newborn baby. But before it is able to use its different vehicles, the positive pole qualities must ripen, they must mature. The ethers of the macrocosmic vital body, the vital body of the earth planet, they act as a womb for the child's vital body until the 7th year, gradually ripening it during that period. The heating of the blood, which is carried on along the positive pole of the light ether, and the circulation of the blood are due to the macrocosmic vital body, the ethers acting on the child and slowly developing it to the point where it can control these functions itself. From the 1st to the 7th year, the vital body grows and slowly matures within the womb of the macrocosmic vital body. In the 40th year, the individual desired body is born from the womb of the earth's desired body and is free to now work on the dense body. After the 14th year, the personal mind is brooded over and nurtured by the macrocosmic mind, unfolding its latent possibilities and making it capable of original thought at 21 years. Overall, the individual's 4 material bodies have matured such that the person can use them. Therefore, at the 21st year, the ego, the spirit, comes into possession of its complete bodies. The chemical ether is born first and matures by the 7th year. We're talking about the positive pole of the vital body for assimilation and growth. At the 14th year, the life ether, which has to do with propagation, is fully ripe. By the 3rd of the 7-year periods, that's by 21 years, the light ether, which is the avenue for blood heat, is also born. The reflected ether for memory matures to birth at 21 years onwards. Once the mind is born, the individual is ready to live an independent life, having free will, and can be held accountable.